What up, you gosh darned nerds? Fallout here, and all I want to know is, how tough are you? And by that, I mean, what Resil are you running? I've had people hitting me up on Twitter and drifting in and out of my Twitch chat wanting to know, how tough does my Guardian need to be in D2 PvP? What is the ideal Resil number that I can put on so I don't immediately get bullied in the current meta? We used to have a pretty good number, but then Bungie shook up the meta a wee bit by nerfing 120 RPM hand cannons. So now we kinda have a new, air quotes on that, meta, and a lot of people don't know what the Resil number they should be running is. Well, why don't we find out together by going over damage numbers for the most used weapons in the current PvP meta. But before we get going, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Ridge Wallets. These things are beautiful, and I'm glad to promote them on my channel because I've actually been using one myself for about the past year. No joke, this right here has been my actual wallet. A lot of guys I know are still lugging around wallets like this. Big, bulky, floppy, and uncomfortable, doesn't sit well in your pocket, and you gotta move it around when you sit down. As I mentioned, over a year of the Ridge wallet, and I'm just never going back. It's light, sleek, and efficient. It doesn't fold or bulge out awkwardly in your pocket. It's got room for all my cards and a clip for bills when I am carrying cash. They've got over 30 colors and styles on their website, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium. Sounds like a Destiny shader. They've got 30,000 5-star reviews, one of them being mine, and each wallet comes with a lifetime warranty. Yes, you can buy just one wallet and boom, carry and use it for life. The Ridge is so confident you'll like it that they'll let you test drive it for 45 days, and if you don't, you can send it back for a full refund. Get 10% off today with free worldwide shipping and returns by going to ridge.com/falloutplays and use promo code falloutplays. Link to their site in the video description, and thank you again to Ridge for sponsoring today's video. Alright, we back. Now I need to put it out there. What Resil you should be running depends 100% on whatever weapons the enemy team is running. If we wanted to, we could go through the optimal numbers on every gun in the game, but wow, that would take a really long time. Today we are just going to look at the most popular weapons currently in PvP because those are what you're most likely going to run into. The current most popular PvP primary weapon, that would be 140 RPM hand cannons, i.e. things like the Fatebringer or the Palindrome. Now there are going to be a few unique outliers out here, but why don't we kick things off with the basics. 140 RPM hand cannons do 47 damage to the body and 70 to the head, meaning that no matter how tough and beefy your Guardian is, 3 headshots will kill you in the neutral game no matter what. However, there is a chance that if your Resil is too low, you could get picked off by 2 headshots and 1 body shot. The magic Resil number there is 2. If you're rocking at least 2 Resil on your Guardian, you will tank that. 1 and below will die. Pretty good news considering you have to try really hard to get to 1 Resil these days. On any 140 RPM hand cannon with kill clip, again, the bar is very low. Because kill clip does so much damage, we really only need to look at what you need to be running in order to not get completely punked on the low end. If you're at 0 Resil, literally nothing, then you'll get murdered by either 2 headshots under kill clip and likewise for 3 body shots. You only need to be running 1 Resil or higher in order to not get clowned in that situation. And yeah, you should try to avoid that because getting 2 tapped by a 140 RPM hand cannon would feel kinda embarrassing. We ran a few numbers on Rampage and decided that your Resil isn't something you really need to worry about there. With a Rampage Palindrome, 2 headshots and 1 body at Rampage level 1 will flat out kill anybody no matter how strong they are, and with 1 headshot and 2 body shots, it's not enough damage where it'll punk anybody on the low end. If everything right now is starting to blend together into a bunch of verbal nonsense, don't worry, I'll sum it up at the end of the video. Just want to talk you through how I make the donuts around here. Anyway, let's move on to Ace of Spades, one of the most popular weapons in PvP right now. It's a 140 RPM hand cannon, so just like before, you want to be running at least 2 Resil to make sure you don't get punked with a 2 headshot, 1 body shot death combo. However, Ace has a unique exotic perk that gives your shots more damage after a kill, i.e. Memento Mori. We learned that for the most part, more Resil ain't gonna help you out when you're within the weapon's range. 2 headshots and 1 body shot with Mori is strong enough to kill literally anyone, and 1 headshot and 2 body shots is also strong enough to kill literally anyone. On the other hand, 3 body shots from Memento Mori is too weak to kill anyone, so against a powered up Ace, it almost doesn't matter what your Resil is at. How about Thorn? Also pretty damn popular right now. Well, I got good news for you. Thorn is fairly easy to remember. Doesn't matter if you're dealing with regular Thorn or its powered up version where you eat somebody's soul after a kill, the magic number is going to be 6 Resil or higher. If you're under 6 Resil, Thorn will 2 headshot and 1 body shot kill you in base form, and it'll flat out 2 tap headshot you when Soul Devour is active. TLDR, if you're going into trials and see anyone on the other team rockin' thorn, you better be at 6. Moving on, the last word. While there is a number here that may help you, odds are it might never come up in combat. What I mean by that is, no matter how thick and beefy you are, 3 headshots from the last word within range is 207 damage, aka powerful enough to kill any guardian. And while 2 headshots and 1 body shot from the last word is too weak to kill anyone, 2 headshots and 2 body shots is strong enough to kill everyone. Really, the only number we figure that'll matter here is if your enemy is so bad with the last word that they'll only hit you with body shots. If you're at 6 Resil, like Thorn, you'll be able to tank 5 body shots from the last word, whereas a guardian at 5 Resil or lower will die. Kind of a similar story going on with the messenger pulse rifle. For the most part, no matter how high your Resil is, you're gonna get punked against a good player. 2 headshots will take you down no matter how beefy you are. If your enemy hits you with 3 body shots though, you'll only live if you're at 9 Resil or higher. Getting to the bottom of the barrel here, Crimson, which is popular on console, almost doesn't care about your Resil at all. 1 full headshot and 2 body shots with Crimson deals a whopping 213 damage, which is strong enough to kill anybody, no matter how high their Resil is. Now we get to snipers, which actually have some hard answers, yay! An aggressive frame sniper, like the Frozen Orbit, paired together with an empowering rift on the Warlock, can be a brutally effective combo, because if the enemy is running 4 Resil or lower, they will die in 1 body shot. You need to be at 5 in order to tank that. Finally, we come to the Adored Sniper, which isn't an aggressive frame, but it is the most popular sniper in PvP by a long shot. The answer here is kind of interesting. Naturally, anyone getting shot in the head in the neutral game will die, but what about your roaming super? Well, Adored comes with the option to turn on Vorpal, and with that on, you're gonna one-tap even the beefiest roaming supers with 1 shot. But with a capital B, think about this. Most of the time, people in PvP roll with Snapshot on their Adored. Yeah, in trials, you can roll for maybe 1 or 2 rounds with Snapshot and then manually change over to Vorpal. But what if a player forgets to do that? Or what if you catch someone off guard who has yet to change mid-game from Snapshot to Vorpal? And that seems like a fair scenario to me. Trials can be mentally taxing, and a lot of players don't have the energy, or just don't freaking care, to micromanage their Adored in every game. So in the event that someone doesn't have Vorpal turned on yet, here's the deal. Behemoth Titans are now uber weak. They'll still get 1 banked no matter what. Don't worry about that. Night Stalker Hunters, on the other hand, are kinda rare, but they will live no matter what. You'd have to actually be running 0 Resil to die, and it's borderline impossible to get that low if you actually care about your armor even a little bit. Top Tree Dawnblade, though, is a very popular roaming super, and it falls right into the middle. If you're a Warlock at 5 Resil, you'll be able to tank a headshot from a non-Vorpal Adored. 4 or lower will die. Same thing with the Shadebinder roaming super, which has the same level of DR. Alright, a lot of numbers and bullshit I just threw at you, so why don't we sum it all up? What Resil you should run completely depends on what weapons the enemy team is using. If you want to play it safe though, based on what the most popular guns in the meta are, here are the numbers. Run at least 2 Resil as the absolute minimum to make sure you don't get punked by people running 140 RPM hand cannons like Fatebringer or Adept Palindrome. If your enemy is running Thorn, absolutely turn your Resil up to 6. On the other hand, if you're great with 140 RPM hand cannons and go up against the team in trials that you notice has Resil under 6, punish them with Thorn. If you think an enemy team is planning on one-tap body shotting you with an ag frame sniper and an empowering rift, run 5 Resil. Finally, if you're a Top Tree Dawnblade and you want to try and punish enemy snipers for running Snapshot and not Vorpal on their Adored, again, run at least 5 Resil. And there you go, quick little TLDR on Resil in D2 PvP right now. Remember, everything we tested was within each weapon's ideal range. There definitely will be times where extra Resil can help you live if an enemy is shooting you from miles away outside of their expected range and experiencing damage drop-off. But dear God, if we dove into those waters and tried to test that, it would be never-ending because you'd have to test every gun at like 100 different ranges, and ain't nobody got time for that. Hope you found that interesting. Now go out there and shoot some people in the face. Click the like button on today's video and then go check out other videos on my channel that are more fun and less numbery. Big shout out to my patrons, especially those in these 2 tiers. If you want to learn more, feel free to check out my Patreon linked in the video description. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.